A recently transformed inhuman named Ulysses possesses the ability to see the future. Learning about this, Captain Marvel, leader of superhero group The Ultimates, has chosen to weaponize the boy's abilities to stop threats from all over the universe before they even happen. This particular act has led to the death of James Rhodes, War Machine, and left She-Hulk in a coma after a mission went awry. Throughout all this, Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, has made it known that using Ulysses' abilities does not sit well with him. And with that, a schism between Marvel's mightiest heroes started to brew. It all came to a head when Ulysses saw a vision of Bruce Banner the Hulk, taking out each and every superhero in their world. But before either Captain Marvel or Iron Man could make a move, each and every masked vigilante in the Marvel Universe was shocked when they witnessed Clint Barton, Hawkeye, end Bruce's life with an especially crafted arrow that Bruce himself supposedly gave him. After a brief journey through the legal system, the verdict has been announced. We find ourselves at the Triskelion, home base of the Ultimates, where Captain Marvel has just received a bit of good news, that She-Hulk has regained consciousness.
Jennifer!
There you are.
There you are. You've been hibernating for a long time, lady. You remember how you got here? What happened to you?
Thanos.
Yeah.
It went badly.
Foobar.
How long have I been out? No one here will talk to me.
I wanted to be the one to talk to you.
Why? Can I get out of here?
I need to tell you...
What happened?
It's Bruce, Jennifer. I'm telling you, we arrested him, put him on trial.
And?
You've been out for a long time. You woke up just in time for the verdict. It literally just came down.
And?
But Carol Danvers doesn't have the heart to tell one of her closest friends how Clint's trial worked out.
And?
Carol struggles to find the right words to cushion She-Hulk's questions.
And?
Because in the middle of New York City, news of Hawkeye's acquittal has just been made public. Meanwhile, in a hideout somewhere in the city, Tony Stark vents his frustrations about everything that's happened up until now, from Ulysses' predictions to Hulk's untimely demise.
This Ulysses guy. I know you think I'm being overdramatic about him. I know some think I'm lashing out at Danvers because I can't get over what happened to Rhodey, or Banner. And maybe that's true, but that doesn't mean I'm wrong. If we've learned anything in our time in uniform, or as Avengers, it's that the future is not written. It can't be written. And that was my original problem with this new Inhuman. This future reading, fortune-telling, vision maker. You can't see a future that hasn't happened yet.
Back at the hideout, Tony presents his findings on Ulysses to his as-yet unseen conversation partner. And this time, Tony has come to a conclusion about the boy's powers. In a flashback from not too long ago, Ulysses has another vision of a threat that has yet to happen, leading Captain Marvel and her squad to prematurely arrest an otherwise innocent woman off the streets.
He's not seeing the future, because it's not there. He's creating an algorithm of a possible future. Yes, maybe a very possible future, but, and you have to hear me out on this, it is only an algorithm. It's math. It's guesswork.
Simply put, Tony knows Ulysses is bound to mess up, which he already did. And all it took was an empty briefcase that he supposedly saw carrying something dangerous in a vision. This same briefcase belongs to the woman Carol and her cadre of jackbooted superheroes have just unlawfully arrested.
If you tell me to stop, I will. Because I've learned, finally, after all these years, I'm going to listen to Steve Rogers.
Tony has gathered his fellow superheroes to argue that Carol's use of Ulysses is an authoritarian fantasy. Carol is present, but despite Tony's evidence, she refuses to listen.
Carol?
I would like Dr. Henry McCoy to look at your new work on this, Stark.
What will that do?
Make me trust it.
I already have. It's not wrong.
So, in front of all of us, knowing what you know, Carol, what are you going to do?
Still, whether it's the lack of oxygen in her brain from all the space travel she does or sheer hate for Tony Stark, Carol tells everyone that she'll continue to use Ulysses' unreliable abilities.
Really? These visions are not what you thought they were. And still?
And Rhodey would agree.
Well, might ask him, but...
As you'd expect from a fanatic who got truly owned with the facts presented to them, Carol doesn't argue and instead just storms out of the meeting, still wholeheartedly believing that she's in the right.
Cap, am I nuts about this?
Not entirely.
But it's not her call, right?
Is it yours?
After what happened to Banner, I'm going to have to go public with this. I'm going to have to let people know what she is up to and what this is.
You have to?
Back at the Triskelion, Carol checks up on Allison Green, the woman she and her crew have just detained. And it's here that we see just how far gone Captain Marvel is in her supposed crusade against evil.
Do you know what Hydra is?
The terrorists?
Exactly. The terrorists.
I've read about them.
You're a high-ranking deep cover operative working on a multi-pronged violent plot to destroy the financial institutions that hold this country, and by definition, the world together.
What? What are you talking about? I work at a financial institution.
Carrying an empty briefcase.
What? It was my old briefcase. I was switching it out with a new one that I left at home.
And again, Carol has been made to look like the fool that she is. As you'd expect, reason is not enough to take off the tinfoil hat from this alleged crime fighter.
I have the legal right to hold you here indefinitely.
For carrying an empty briefcase?
And I will. Your call.
No, I didn't do anything, please. My name is Allison Green. I'm a United States citizen. I didn't do anything, please. I've never even been arrested before. My dad is a cop. I get a phone call. I want to call my dad.
Even Carol's allies, such as S.H.I.E.L.D. Director Maria Hill and King T'Challa, are aware of her extreme behavior. They tell her they need proof to keep her at the Triskelion, to which Carol says that they'll quote-unquote find it. Regardless, Allison Green's unlawful detention is thankfully cut short when Nightcrawler's distinct cloud of purple smoke appears inside her room to teleport her out of there. A second later, the Triskelion's alarms ring to inform Carol that Tony Stark has made his move.
He's here?
Rooftop.
Well, we were ready for this.
Not for this.
Iron Man hasn't come alone. Accompanied by Steve Rogers, Thor, and other heroes who believe Carol has veered dangerously close to fascism, Tony Stark arrives determined to end Captain Marvel's madness. In response to Tony's crew, Carol summons her own cadre of masked vigilantes, and the once simmering schism erupts into a war among Marvel's greatest heroes. And, in true superhero comic book fashion, all the legal drama and morality play going on is instantly replaced by high-octane violence when Tony and Carol's respective factions throw hands at one another.
You made this happen, Carol. You literally left us no choice.
Classic Tony Stark ego. All ego!
Meanwhile, in the inhuman capital of New Attilan, Queen Medusa informs the rest of the royal family about Carol's pleas for help in the ensuing superhero civil war. Ulysses asks her and Karnak what they're fighting about. But instead of answering his question, the inhuman queen simply orders her subject to stay put. Back at the Triskelion, Iron Man and Captain Marvel continue their bitter duel. Perhaps overconfident in her abilities, Carol begins to criticize the armored Avenger.
You're projecting, Tony. And I'm a little surprised that in this manic episode of yours, you forgot I can absorb energy and send it right back at you.
Well, Carol should have kept her hole shut because, as Tony puts it, he did not forget anything. In fact, he's just put Carol in her place with a special little concoction that he came up with.
You don't think I know how this—
I cooked you up a little something special. See, I prepared for a future without upsetting the natural order of things, or getting any Avengers killed.
Just behind him, the Tony Stark-aligned Sorcerer Supreme, Dr. Stephen Strange, shows us how much of an absolute unit he is when he single-handedly wrangles up a squad of X-Men loyal to Carol's insane cause. However, Marvel's premier magician should have known that a weather goddess like Storm always beats a magician living on Baker Street. Freeing herself from Strange's mystical restraints, Storm does not waste time to blast him with lightning, which gives her fellow X-Man Bobby Drake an opening to smack Stephen in the face with his ice powers. On the ground, Luke Cage and Blue Marvel, heroes who have found themselves on opposite sides of the war, argue with each other amidst a good old-fashioned fistfight.
Come on, Blue Marvel. You were on the wrong side of the street on this one.
Does the fact that I hold a PhD in theoretical physics and a master's degree in electrical engineering from Cornell give you any pause to consider that maybe you, Cage, are on the wrong side of this?
Not really. You know why?
We have to agree with Luke Cage on this one. Instead of boasting about his credentials, there's something Cornell never taught Blue Marvel. Never take your eyes off the rest of the battlefield. Nova takes advantage of this oversight by blasting the Captain Marvel-aligned hero in the face, instantly knocking him out.
Because you fell for that. You're burnt.
The war rages on throughout the Triskelion, and those who are not present in the scuffle learn about it from the news. Meanwhile, Sam Wilson faces off against Magic in the middle of the smoldering war zone. She gives Sam a free trip to Los Angeles when she sends him through one of her portals. But in no way is this a victory, as Magic instantly gets knocked out by one of Kate's arrows the moment she thinks she's won the fight. Nearby, Rocket Raccoon does what he does best, shoot everything with a big freaking gun. But his rampage is stopped when Miles Morales, Spider-Man, swings in to knock him out with a kick. Venom then lunges at the young web-slinger and notices he's not Peter Parker. Regardless, Pete taught the boy well, as Miles goes 2-0 when he takes out Venom with a well-placed bio-organic shock to the face. Venom crashes right beside Captain America, who's currently in a standoff against Guardian of the Galaxy Peter Quill. All of a sudden, Peter notices that Tony has hacked into his helmet, and we find out that even the Guardians of the Galaxy don't exactly buy into Carol's bozo Minority Report-style way of meting out justice. As Peter puts it,
What are you doing here?
Supporting my friend, who I thought was your friend too.
the whole battle culminates in a huge explosion that destroys the Triskelion, one that Ulysses witnesses from New Adelon. Things further escalate when the Inhumans also arrive to join the fray. But this tedious conflict is cut short when Ulysses suddenly feels something strange happening to his body. Specifically, he witnesses his body turn into ribbons of light, which begin to cover the entirety of the Triskelion. All the while, Carol proves how irredeemable she has become.
Stark! Stop this! Call this off!
No, mine. Surrender, Tony. Last chance!
Hold on.
Hold on.
I'm getting some weird reading.
Shut up.
In the heat of battle, all the combatants fail to notice Ulysses' light ribbons slowly coiling upon each and every one of them. And when they come to, Marvel's mightiest heroes get a first-hand look at Ulysses' most recent vision.
What is this?
It's a truly disturbing one. A possible future where Miles Morales has seemingly taken the life of none other than the original Captain America, Steve Rogers. The vision ends, leaving everyone frozen in place as they come to terms with what they have just seen. Miles especially is inconsolable.
No.
No, that is not going to happen.
How do you know?
I just do.
Of course, you can always count on a fanatical totalitarian figure like Captain Marvel to take advantage of this. After all, it's vindication all wrapped up in a tight little spider suit.
Kid, I'm sorry, but you're under arrest.
A ceasefire between the two factions is called. On the other hand, Tony comes to Miles's defense.
Carol, I told you! I told you this exact thing was going to happen!
Tony.
Did I not tell you?
Tony!
You're turning on children now!
No, not turning.
A custody battle between Iron Man and Captain Marvel basically ensues, which only drives Miles deeper into despair. Thankfully, there's one grown-up around here, and it's the same man who they saw getting his life taken in Ulysses' vision, Steve Rogers. Instead of joining Tony and Carol's shouting match, the first Avenger instead approaches Miles to check up on him.
Hi.
Hi.
Why did you pull your mask up?
I couldn't breathe.
Put it back. That mask represents something. It represents who you are. You're Spider-Man, and that means something to people. It means a lot.
I would never do what that vision showed. I would never do it.
I know, son.
I don't know what to do now.
What do you want to do?
I want to go home.
Then do that. We'll figure the rest out later.
Captain, no, this isn't your call.
Just like the most of the other superheroes around, Captain America has had enough of Carol Danvers' constant feeble attempts at trying to act like Earth 616's big dog. Because for one, she's not, and for another, she's no Steve Rogers.
He has the right to go home if he wants to.
But we can keep him safe here and make sure that
He didn't do anything wrong. Just like Bruce didn't do anything wrong. Just like Rhodey didn't do anything wrong.
Listening to Steve's words of reason gives Captain Marvel one of the stupidest looks she's ever had. Tony takes this chance to allow Thor to whisk Miles as far away from Carol's grubby, fanatical grasp.
No, can't believe you, Cap.
Captain Marvel attempts to go after Miles and Thor, but Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel, stops her from doing so.
He's my friend. He didn't do anything wrong.
Thankfully, S.H.I.E.L.D. Director Maria Hill steps in to distract Carol from having another mental breakdown. But Maria did not come here suing for peace. She's here to arrest all the masked vigilantes who chose to spend their day wrecking the Triskelion. Another scuffle almost erupts. However, King T'Challa, the Black Panther, finally realizes the error of his ways and drops some truth bombs on his justice-obsessed colleague.
I have seen too much, Captain Marvel. I can no longer defend any of this. At the beginning I could, but I have grown more and more uncomfortable with my part in this. And long ago, I learned that if you are on Captain America's side, you can rest easy knowing you're on the right side.
And if he, even after what we have all experienced, would choose to protect that child Avenger's right to be, then that is what I should have been doing this entire time.
T'Challa knows that Carol has become too unstable to hear any words of reason even from someone as wise as himself. So to drive home the point that she definitely doesn't want any of this smoke, the Black Panther hits her with this line.
If you attack me, you attack the kingdom of Wakanda.
So Carol has no choice but to remain dumbfounded, as she realizes how a war with an advanced civilization like Wakanda would play out. In the end, Tony's faction leaves the scene using one of Doctor Strange's mystical gateways. Rocket Raccoon tries to sneak in an energy blast just as they leave, while Carol forgets her place when she speaks to an actual queen.
Medusa, can we use Lockjaw to?
No. Goodbye.
Medusa?
And with that, nearly all of Carol's allies abandon her, and deservedly so. Somewhere else, Miles tells Thor to put him down atop one of New York's many rooftops. The goddess of thunder realizes the boy needs some time alone, so she leaves. She leaves just in time as Miles is experiencing a panic attack. In New Attilan, Medusa checks up on Ulysses. Strangely, the young Inhuman boy does not answer, as his body continues to swirl in ribbons of light. At the ruins of the Triskelion, Carol and her faction are left with cleanup duties. Now, he might not be the brightest bulb in Marvel's toolbox, but you can always trust Peter Quill to do his friend a solid.
I have to tell you.
Please don't lecture me, Quill. Please.
Actually, no. I was going to tell you you're right. I got a little taste of this kind of thing when I was running my other home planet. If you can stop something bad from happening, you do it. Boo-hoo if someone gets their feelings hurt. The bigger picture, that's what you have to fight for.
Carol finds Peter's encouragement reassuring. After all, she has to take what she can get now that her most powerful allies have left her faction, even if it comes from someone like Peter Quill. In fact, Kitty Pryde, who's been rolling with the Guardians of the Galaxy recently, seems to be the only one who realizes how bonkers Peter and Carol's ideology is during this exchange. Back at Tony's hideout, the genius playboy billionaire philanthropist falls short of handing out high fives as he celebrates the W with his team.
Dr. Strange, can you make them feel better with one of those fancy spells?
I'm sorry, I don't have much to offer today. I am sorry.
You're kidding, right? You were a rock star out there. Facial hair, bro.
I still hate you.
But let's not forget, Tony might be on the side of freedom and liberty in this conflict, but he's still the same old Tony Stark. So he gets his game face back on and starts scheming.
No one loves fighting friends. I hate it. That was a tough one. But you all did great. T'Challa, I think I speak for everyone when I say I'm kind of in love with you.
Well, you always have been.
We need to find Thor and Spider-Man before Danvers does. Ms. Marvel, you're pals with him. I need you to go get Spider-Man for us.
However, the young members of Tony's faction hold different perspectives. Kamala takes her fellow teenage superheroes for a sidebar. And after a quick introduction to their newest friend, Riri Williams, aka Ironheart, they make plans of their own. Specifically, the young masked heroes have grown tired of this superhero civil war. So, they decide to go off on their own and look for Miles to protect their dear friend from either faction. Still, the older heroes know what's up.
We'll be right back.
What just happened?
Seems the young guns are sneaking off.
They're scared.
No, they're going to find their friend Spider-Man and hide him. From us. From all of us. Not sure if I'm annoyed or proud of them.
The rest of the OG heroes deliberate on the next step they should take, and the King of Wakanda has his own theories about Ulysses.
I cannot help but wonder, as the young Inhuman's predictive powers grow in strength, as it seems is the case, if the accuracy has not become less so.
Somewhere else, Carol sulks about everything that has happened leading up to this moment. Still, she presses the point that they have to get their hands on Miles no matter what. Despite everything, she insists that they must capture Miles. As if by chance or destiny, Maria Hill then informs Carol that they don't have to look for Spider-Man anymore. They've found him, because at this very moment, Miles Morales has decided to confront his fears and visit Capitol Hill, the same place he saw in the vision and the spot where he is to supposedly take Steve Rogers' life. In New Attilan, the Inhuman royal family continues to try and reach out to Ulysses.
We need to speak with you. We want to help you, but we need to... Your birthright? Your inhuman abilities? Seem to be evolving even faster than we had guessed they would. Your visions are more potent, and the visions themselves are more
off-putting.
erratic. The Ultimates would like to bring you in for more study. But we'll only agree to it if you agree to it. It's important to me, as the leader of our family, that you choose to seek help, that you see the need.
Answer your queen, Ulysses.
I see you slipping from us. I see you... Can he hear me?
Answer your queen.
But he does not answer. Because at this very moment, Ulysses is tripping so hard on his visions that his soul wanders off to an entirely different reality. A wasteland of a possible future where a certain old man with adamantium claws has just body-bagged one of Bruce Banner's bird-brained hillbilly offspring.
Sorry you almost got eaten there, bub. But I appreciate you distracting the varmint long enough to put an end to this all-day dust-up.
Was that the Hulk?
One of his kids. Hulk's long gone. Took care of him myself. Spread the word.
Wait, are you Wolverine?
But the old man doesn't answer. Instead, he simply readies himself to mount his horse.
See you around, kid.
What year is it?
What year is it? What kind of question is that?
Please. I'm not supposed to be here. I don't understand where I am or how I got here.
Meanwhile, Miles Morales stands in front of the Capitol building when a random cop attempts to arrest him. In Ulysses' soul spirit quest, Old Man Logan asks him what he is. Ulysses informs him that he's an inhuman and asks where the rest of his kind are. And it's here that Ulysses discovers something shocking.
The Inhumans left the planet back when the world still looked like the world.
They did? Where did they go? Where are we?
Looks like Jersey.
What happened? What sent the Inhumans away?
Tony Stark happened.
Somewhere else, aboard a SHIELD helicarrier floating 1,000 feet above New York, Carol, Maria, and a few SHIELD agents deliberate how they should perform their snatch and grab on Spider-Man. Carol elects to do it herself, although Maria Hill warns her that she'll definitely be put behind bars if a fight ensues between them, and they end up destroying some of Washington, D.C.'s most precious landmarks. Still, Carol is confident that wouldn't happen, so they spring their plan and order law enforcement on the ground to stand down. In front of the Capitol building, Washington PD almost gets trigger-happy when they receive a call from SHIELD.
Okay, everyone stand down.
What?
Everyone, go back to your cars. Leave him be.
What?
Stand down, officer.
But he's...
Not breaking any laws. Go. That is an order.
Shortly after, Steve Rogers arrives on the scene to come face-to-face with the boy who's supposed to take his life. Meanwhile, in the future, Ulysses tries to inquire about what Old Man Logan just told him.
Please, what happened here?
Where are you from? For real. None of this what year is it crap.
Oh my god, I can't go back until I figure out what made all this happen.
All right. But first you tell me what an Inhuman is doing wandering around Jersey in the middle of a...
All of a sudden, Ulysses' body turns into ribbons of light yet again, cutting his conversation with the clawed Canuck short.
Oh god, please tell me. What did Tony Stark do?
Everyone on the damn planet knows this. He pushed her too far.
Her who?
What the hell is happening?
Unfortunately for Ulysses, he's transported back to the present before Logan could give him an answer. He tells the Inhuman royal family what he just found out, and thinking that his vision is still a reliable source of information, Ulysses only has one request for Queen Medusa.
We have to tell Captain Marvel to cease fire. She has to stop fighting Iron Man. Can you call her? Can you do that?
Back in Washington, D.C., Carol has just jumped off the SHIELD helicarrier, while Steve Rogers and Miles have a private conversation.
I know you know this, but I think it's worth repeating. I'm not gonna kill you. It's not gonna happen.
I know that, but why are you here?
Maybe the same reason you're here? To prove it doesn't happen.
Exactly right.
Thank you for believing me.
Still, there's one lingering question for both the young wall crawler and the Star-Spangled Avenger.
So, why do you think that Inhuman saw what he saw?
I was going to ask you the same thing.
I don't know. I'm just a big fan of yours, I told you.
And yet...
Wait, you do believe me?
I do. I'm just trying to figure out the same thing you are.
Well, all I know is every time this Inhuman dude has a vision, a big-time superhero dies. And now here we are, and I'm pretty sure you're going to walk away fine. Because for the last, 100 years, you're always walking away fine. But me, I think I might be in trouble.
Sadly, this heartfelt moment is ruined when Captain Marvel arrives on the scene to take him into custody.
It would be so nice if you started to figure out that I have the best intentions for all of us. Cap, tell him I'm not Satan.
She's not Satan.
Thank you.
But I think this has all gone far enough.
As you'd expect, Carol seemingly hears out what everybody else tells her, and then goes ahead and proceeds to do as she wishes. So she attempts to grab Spider-Man only to discover that a force field is protecting him. It only takes Carol a second to realize that only one man in the Marvel Universe right now would do everything in his power to stop her from getting her hands on Miles.
Tony Stark, be a man.
I wasn't hiding.
I didn't know anything about this.
And this time, Tony has made sure he came even more prepared for a rematch with Captain Marvel.
I was giving you one last chance. That was it.
As you'd expect, a devastating scuffle ensues between the two, as Iron Man and Captain Marvel throw hands. To the shock of Miles and Steve, they witness Carol drive her energy-charged fist right through Tony Stark's chest. In fact, everyone in the immediate vicinity witnesses Captain Marvel wreck Iron Man above the skies of Capitol Hill. Aboard the SHIELD helicarrier, some of Carol's closest allies begin to lose their composure and attempt to join the battle. But Maria Hill basically tells them they'll be court-martialed if they so much as displace a stone from one of Washington, D.C.'s buildings. Things become more complicated when Maria receives a call from the Inhuman Queen.
Medusa? I'm really very...
Hill! Stop the fight!
I'm not sure
Ulysses says so. The fight has to stop.
Why? What is going to happen?
Ulysses, can you tell us what exactly is going to... Ulysses?
Unfortunately, the Inhuman Soothsayer is on another one of his spirit quests, preventing him from being useful to anyone right now.
Why won't he answer?
I don't know. You just have to stop it. Now.
Just above Capitol Hill, Carol and Tony continue to have their heated duel. Spider-Man desperately pleads for Tony to let him out of the force field, while Captain America springs into action to try and put a stop to all this madness.
Stark, Danvers, listen to me.
I'm trying to save his life.
Cap eventually gets caught in the crossfire when he catches a trio of missiles originally aimed at Carol. Still, there's a bit of a silver lining to this.
Friday?
Captain America's vital signs are healthy.
Great job not killing Cap just then.
With Steve Rogers knocked out and Miles still trapped inside the force bubble, no one is around to be the grown-up here. So, Tony and Carol continue to wail on each other. Back in New Attilan, Medusa. And the rest of the Inhuman family realize that Ulysses is as useless as a sack of rocks right now. As such, they decide to put matters into their own hands and try to stop Carol's fight with Tony themselves. Still, they opt to bring Ulysses with them on the off chance that he stops tripping just in time to help them. Meanwhile, Captain Marvel and Iron Man's duel just keeps escalating, finally prompting Maria to do away with SHIELD protocol and send over the rest of the superheroes under her wing to intervene. In Brooklyn, Kamala and Nova have just pinged Miles's location. The Inhumans then arrive at Capitol Hill, all thanks to one of Marvel's best boys, Lockjaw.
Danvers!
She can't hear you. I'm trapped in here. Stark trapped me.
Hold still.
In the meantime, Tony gets a clean shot at Carol, allowing him to knock her away with a punch. But he soon finds out that his armor's systems are on its last legs. To further complicate things, Carol's cronies have also just arrived on the scene to try and stop the city-shattering scuffle going on between Captain Marvel and the Armored Avenger. And yet, all everyone can do is watch, as the two combatants beat the living snot out of each other. The exclamation point comes when Captain Marvel finds an opening in Iron Man's defense, allowing her to blast him with energy at point-blank range. The impact is so powerful that Tony is literally thrown out of his suit as he's sent plummeting down to the ground. At the same time, Ulysses finally gets his act together. He regains consciousness, but not to do anything that would help Tony or anyone else around him. Instead, he just shows them even more of his bonkers visions.
Where are we?
What are you showing us?
I'd like to go back.
The futures.
And with that, Ulysses presents us with glimpses of things to come, from monsters being unleashed to Ultron standing over the fallen Avengers. Curiously, Ulysses' vision of Miles ending Captain America in front of the Capitol building still remains. Regardless, Ulysses is about to find out that he's not bound to be useful to anyone on planet Earth anytime soon, as he hears a strange voice speaking to him in the middle of this spirit quest. A voice belonging to the cosmic being named Eternity.
What is happening to me? Please tell me.
You are one of us now. You have shown the Earth all that you can. You are part of the greater universe now. There is much more than just the Earth if you choose to join us.
Hearing this, Ulysses gets the high of his life as he accepts Eternity's offer, transforming him into a cosmic entity as well. This also means Ulysses won't be answering for any of the misinformation he spread thanks to his algorithm-based inhuman abilities. So, it all works out. For him at least. But back on planet Earth, the rest of the heroes have to deal with the consequences of Carol and Ulysses' actions as Miles cradles Tony Stark's near-lifeless body in the middle of Capitol Hill. Later, Hank and Carol discuss what exactly happened to them and the young Inhuman boy.
And he evolved into...
Sounds like he evolved past us. I really wish I could have seen that.
No, Henry, you really don't.
It seems as if you were taken to the edge of the universe, to the edge of reason. You saw a person from Earth evolve past what we can comprehend.
And I haven't slept since.
Still, all things considered, pretty fascinating.
Is he going to die?
In theory, one day.
Henry, is he going to live?
Carol asks these questions in reference to none other than Tony Stark, who, like She-Hulk, has found himself in a comatose state after rolling with Captain Marvel. What's more curious, however, is the fact that Hank knows there's more to Tony's current state than meets the eye.
Tony, he's done something to himself. I've never seen anything like this before. And by that, I mean no one has ever seen anything like this before.
He's been experimenting on himself?
If I had to guess, for years. I'm hardly one to point a finger, though. This, whatever this is, it's the only thing keeping his body alive. But I'm going to have to dig a lot deeper into this before I can get back to you on his condition. I'm scared to even draw blood. But hey, at least he saved you from being the woman who killed Tony Stark.
In reply, Carol tells Hank that she didn't start the war. Surprisingly, he agrees with this, because according to Hank, Tony actually trusted her. However, Dr. McCoy is well aware that he should not sacrifice the truth to appease a friend.
You popped open a dangerous door, Carol, and deep down, maybe very deep down, he knew, and I know, you could be trusted. Profiling people, profiling the future. You saved millions of lives with it, but it was who came after you that he was worried about. He knew once you made profiling, and that is what it was, the norm. How long until it was used by someone less noble? Stark's a futurist. He knew what would come next if he didn't stop you now. He just couldn't believe you'd fight him this hard. Yeah, you didn't start it, but you sure ended it.
Later, the weight of Carol's actions bears down on her, as she deals with it on her own. She's interrupted when Clint Barton, the same man who took out Hulk, sneaks into her room to tell her one thing.
That's what I came here to tell you. No matter what happens next, do me a favor. Trust me.
Not long after, Carol meets with the United States head of state, who expresses his disappointment at losing his only tool to profile citizens of the world for his own purposes. Regardless, he considers it water under the bridge and instead focuses on the future. So, Carol gives him a report of what's going on with the Marvel universe at large.
It's a little bit of everything, sir. Some are just overwhelmed. Some find themselves having to start over. Some think they absolutely know what they need to do now. And others might feel the exact opposite. Some are just so lost over what has taken place, doubting themselves. Some wounds will never heal, and there are some who have just become enigmas to me. I wonder if I will ever know what they are truly feeling. But I'm going to choose to focus on those who have been inspired to do something new. I'm going to focus on the good that might have come out of this.
In the end, the President of the United States deems all of Carol's efforts commendable, enough to grant her a reward.
You have a golden ticket in your hand and you can cash it in right here. You want to do your job as best you can? Well, my piggy bank is open and I want you to go forward and win big. Don't blow this off. What can I do for you?
To that, Carol Danvers only has one answer.
Actually, I have some ideas about the future.
That's all for now. We hope you liked watching this video and can't wait to read your thoughts about it in the comments section below. Please don't forget to give this video a like, share, subscribe to our channel, and turn on your notifications to see more amazing content like this. Let us know what epic storylines you would like us to cover in the future. We'll see you next time. Take care.